Hello drone racers, today we're going to take a look at the Eachine EV800D, that's a little bit of a mouthful, goggles. I'm a big fan of box goggles, it's actually all I own. I have 4 or 5 of them at this point. And I really like the idea of box goggles because they're cheap and you can hand them to anyone. When I was flying last weekend at the in-laws, I was able to hand out 3 sets of them so everybody could see what it was like. If I had fat sharks, I wouldn't be able to afford to do that. These have been my primary goggles since I got them, the VRD2s. I did get one of the later generations and the DVR works great. Everything works outstanding on them. I've been extremely happy with them. I do have the pros and I'm not ready to review those because, as you may have seen, the results are very mixed. So we're not going to do a full shootout between them all yet. But today we're just going to look at these. And I have opened this up. When these were first announced, I practically dismissed them because I thought the VRD2 Pros just looked better. I like the external battery because I can have several spares and ready to go. But once I got it, the controls really aren't great. So I'm curious to see how this compares, and at first glance it looks really nice. Here's what you get in the box. You get the goggles themselves and all the controls are clearly labeled on the top, which I really like. I think I've still got, yeah, in here it comes with, I'm assuming there's a cloverleaf antenna in here. One thing that's interesting, these are SMA connectors. They are not RPSMA, which are different than everything else from Eachine has been. I kind of like that because my old Amway cloverleaf is SMA, so I can connect that. I prefer RPSMA overall. I probably need to do a video on why, but it does come with that antenna. And then there is a patch, a really interesting looking patch, a sting pad. Ooh, it's a nice fancy package, so we'll see what that does and how that compares and see if it stings things better. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So this has an internal battery, which, as I mentioned, I like the idea of the external battery and I wasn't sold on it. But once I saw the package here, one of the things I really like that it came with is this takes a 12-volt input, so it's very easy. Any 3S battery can actually charge this, and I don't know if it, I'm assuming it can charge it. You can definitely plug in and connect it, but you come with this cord. It's an extra proprietary cord you've got to keep track of, make sure you don't lose it. But if you're in the field and all of a sudden you get a low battery warning, you get this pretty nice long cord and you can plug it in wherever it plugs in. Throw a 3S probably in your pocket and be charging and keep going. So that goes a long way toward having an extra battery or an external battery that you can just replace. That may work out just as well, but I'd like to have several of these. I don't wonder if I can order them separately. That would be really nice. This does have AVN. It's not HDMI, it's an analog connection with a headset jack. So if you've got something that you want to connect to it, I would think probably an external base station would be the most likely scenario to use this. If you've got one of those, that would be nice, and it is nice that it's at least an option, but you're probably not going to be using this with your computer for simulations. There's going to be a way to hook it up, but it's not going to be easy for most people. You do get a lens cleaner, which you may need because one of the things I did deter me from this was the lens doesn't move. The Fresnel lens is locked in place. There's no adjusting it. So we'll see how that works out for us. And it does come with a bag, which is actually kind of nice, I guess. I wonder if I have to take off the antennas or not. Because these are SMA, I don't want to disconnect these antennas any more than I have to because these connectors do wear out. And unfortunately with SMA, the part that wears out is on the goggle and you can't replace it. So don't take these on and off any more than you have to. The goggles themselves have a really nice clear set of buttons and it looks like they're laid out really well. And I realized I left out the instructions, which are tiny and give you just enough information to give you the essentials, I guess. Channels and frequency, which whatever. So it's interesting, it's a 2S battery internal, but it charges off of a, oh, you can charge it off of 2S also. 2S or 3S can be backup power using that connector, although that's only gonna connect a 3S. And then there are the controls, which look to be really good. They look like they're going to be far more straightforward than the VRD2s. One thing that is a huge upgrade is the cushion on here. This cushion is actual fabric. It's not just some cheap foam that you're going to put on there. It's not adjustable, it's not replaceable, it's probably not going to fit everybody. Your glasses are definitely not going to fit over here. Well, yeah, no, not even close. There are going to be no glasses wearing during this, which I always used to wear glasses with my goggles, and since I've started not doing that. I actually prefer it because I found the lens would get in my way and I didn't realize it. I just tried to go back to my old goggles for one test and I didn't like it at all. So I've actually gotten used to not wearing glasses and do prefer it now. There's a large nose opening, so that's going to let light in the same way as the VRD2s. I've noticed that when you put them on and you notice that, it's a really big deal. But once you're flying, you don't see it at all. And I actually like being able to see out of there just a little bit. It makes little things like picking up my radio so much easier. So I actually don't mind that at all. So we're going to try this and see how it goes. I've got the goggles on. I have a quad on, but I'm not connected. So there's a search button right on top. We're just going to press that to start with and see what happens. So you can see the goggles going through, checking the channels, scanning through to see what things look like. Across the top, so it did search and it stopped on something that it thought might be the channel. If we press it again, see if it'll keep going. So there, it's locked in and that looks to be my channel. Let's try again and see if we keep going, see what happens. So there it will stop, it will search and stop on any channel it thinks might be it. So that's kind of interesting. It doesn't necessarily lock in on the best channel, it just locks in on any channel it thinks might be appropriate or that does give a signal, kind of like your radio. Sometimes it'll lock in on one channel that's not quite the right one. So that's the one it's supposed to be on. So that's interesting how it kind of just searches through. I've not added a SD card to this yet, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that in. Okay, so the source will switch between, there I'm on RFA, I'm on AV input for its video in if you have an external input. There I have diversity, and it's interesting the diversity is on a different channel, and then that's RFB. Why are they all on different ones? So I'm going to switch to diversity. It's probably important to make sure you're on diversity, and I'm going to do search again. There we go. So that locked in on the right one. It took a few tries, so I'm on diversity now. So you can actually choose to be on one or the other. It's pretty easy to do, but you want to make sure it says there at the top it's diversity. I really like that it shows my channel, my band, and the frequency, because that's just really nice being able to see it. In the upper right hand corner you can see the battery life of the goggles, so that's actually really nice too. So there's the source. If I do a long press, it will bring up the menu, and I have a number of options. See if I can turn this. I can't. I'm gonna have to lift this out of the way. There we go. We'll kind of turn this so you can see what the options are. Language, everything. I have set it to 4:3. I prefer 4:3. That's how all my cameras are, so that's how I want it to be. I like the big view, but I don't want it to be stretched out. So there it is, and that's a long press of the source menu. Really, really easy to get to. If you press this button, it will go through each of the options. From there, once you're in there, you use the channel band. You can press, short press will go down, and then a long press will go up. So it will take a while to change these if you need to, but it's actually really easy to do. So then if you just wait, it'll go out again. Power button, very straightforward. I don't think a quick press will do anything, so you don't accidentally power off your goggles if you hit the wrong button. It takes a long press. Let's see if we turn it off and then turn it back on, if it will retain the settings that we had. It did, so that's good. It did remember. So channel band, this is the one of the things I really like. One, it's easy to find this button, and if you want to go through and change, if you're not sure and the scan's not working out for you for whatever reason, you can go through and quick clicks will change the channel. If you do a long press, it will switch over to band, and then you can just switch between your band. So it makes it really easy. If you know where you want to be and you want to switch around, you can change that back and forth really easy, and you can see what your frequency is in the process. And then we have the pick record. So I've not recorded anything with this yet since I just put the card in. If I do a long press, oh, there we go. It shows it's recording. So I can see that I'm recording while I'm flying. Hopefully this does not introduce latency. Hopefully it just is an overlay, but that is a huge deal being able to see that, because I've had multiple times I've forgotten. That's all the buttons are. That makes it really, really straightforward. I like these controls a lot. These are extremely simple, extremely easy to follow, and I think I even saw a DVR in there that we'll take a look at after we fly and see if that's easy to get to, because I usually don't do the playback on the DVR because it's too complicated with the goggles. I think these might be nice. So there they already saved me, because I was about ready to start flying and realized I don't have a red light up there. I'm not recording, and I could not have seen that before. So that's actually really nice. So there I've got, oh, there I clicked picture. That'll be interesting. You can do one click for a picture, and they're long hold for recording, and now I can see I'm recording. So now we can fly and see. There's no latency at all, or negligible, not enough to actually be a problem. Not like the VRD2s were for a lot of people if they didn't switch the settings. So there we're going through, and the camera, part of the reason I'm using this is the camera on this is really good. But I want to see how the breakups are. I haven't flown in my basement in a while. It's been nice out finally. So yeah, it's hard to say. I'm going to do a full goggle shootout where I think I'll probably have 4 sets going all at the same time to decide if you want diversity and recording, DVR, you need them all going at the same time. So I would say it works fine here. We really need to try them outside where we've got a little more room. But yeah, inside they're just fine. I don't have any others going. Maybe a little more breakup than I'm used to, but I haven't flown inside for a while, so I'm not totally sure. Okay, so now I want to try that DVR and see if it was easy as it looked. If I do a long press of the button here, I have DVR, and then I can do plus. And there I'm at my last recording. And what do? If I do plus again, it will go through my different recordings. So some of these are going to be the picture probably. There's a picture. There's the recording. And then how do I get it to start playing? There we go. That was easy. I might actually use the DVR on this. Normally I don't use my DVR at all, just because it's too hard to get into. But that's actually really, really nice. So I do actually want to do one last test before we go outside and fly. So here's what I'm hoping. How many times have you unplugged the battery of your goggles and lost your recording? It's happened to me a number of times. So I'm kind of hoping that one of the advantages of having the internal battery will be that it doesn't have that problem. So here I'm recording there. There we go. There's the red light. We're going to let it record for just a few seconds and then say it's done. And then we're going to power off our goggles. And I already saw the red light went off, so I think what it did is I think it went and saved. So now if we power them back on, we go into our menu, we go into the DVR, and there's an 8-second recording. So that's nice. You can't accidentally lose your recording with these goggles. That's a huge boon right there. So I really like the controls here. I like the way it fit. Once I got it adjusted, it did take me a few tries. I like being able to use the DVR playback. The search isn't as good as some of the others that I've used, but it's still kind of nice to be there instead of just going click, 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 click. It's just there and it will search and search for the next one. So if I'm flying with a group of guys and I want to watch somebody else, but you do want to make sure you're on your own channel and on the best channel for you. So the video looks really good. This is a KK90 GT. So we've got it out here ready to go. We're just going to fly in level mode, see how it looks. The quality is really clear, although this quadcopter has traditionally been very clear. So we're going to kind of do one of our range runs and see how we can do and see how we can see. We're going pretty good. I don't have any problems seeing. The wind, it's super duper windy. Alright, we're coming back though. That's about the same distance we made it with the Lizard the other day. There we go. So yeah, with the multiple goggles that we had, it's about the same range and same quality. Different quadcopter, but it seemed pretty good. And here in locally, it's really good. We don't have any problem at all. A little bit of breakup there, but overall, I need a bigger quadcopter to test it with. But for the moment, that's all we've got. Oh yeah, no, I didn't really look at in the upper left-hand corner, I have signal quality, and we're down to 3 bars, 4 bars. I probably shouldn't do this with this. Whoa! So my radio is not making it more so than my goggles. It seems okay. They seem pretty good. About the same as I was getting the other day. Aiden's review also. He's got them on ready to go. Quadcopter ready to go. You know how to arm it. Oh wait, is there a red here? There we go. Now do you see a red light up in the upper right hand corner? Red circle? Yeah. Yes, good. There you go. Arm it.
There you go. What do you think of the goggles? You like them? Oh, you're doing good with the quadcopter. This is your first real fast quadcopter. Don't go over there. Don't go over there. Come back. Fly back. There you go. Whoa! Oh! Stop. Okay. So here's one thing I forgot to show is you can actually take this apart, which now we're going to see Aiden's crash, which this works out really well for. We can watch it together. So just hold this and press DVR and select. There. Yes, that's probably you.
Yeah, that's me.
So this is really cool, being able to take it apart and look at the DVR and actually have it so easy. I could do it with one hand, and that's where I yelled at you because I didn't know where you were going. Ah, and you're coming back, coming back. Oh, that's all better. Oh, good, you're bringing it back and it's going to be safe. Oh. And now the camera's broken. But we fixed it. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's really nice to be able to look at the videos just like that.
Yeah.
That is cool. Now we can see it together. I like that a lot. I just realized I have to do this part in one take, which never happens. But there is the review of the EV800D goggles. I really like them. The controls are spectacular, the best I've ever seen. The layout makes perfect sense. You don't have to guess. I never looked at the manual once. Flights around with them were really good. The range seemed right on par with the other goggles I've been flying lately. The Amway antenna and receiver goggles, the VRD2 goggles, the Pros seemed right in there too, maybe a little shorter, more on that later. I also really want to pair the Amway Diversity goggles with DVR built in to see how those go. I haven't fit those in the budget yet, but there's a link for them down below if you want a pair. They're on pre-order right now as of the time of this posting. But for the EV800Ds, I like them. I like that they come apart like this. I like the features of them. I like the layout. So if you found this useful, go down and follow the link and buy a pair. I would appreciate it. That helps me be able to buy more of this stuff so we can review it. And while you're there, go ahead and leave a like and a comment on which goggles you think are the best that you have seen. Should I invest in $400, $500 Fat Sharks, or are we in a good place now with $80 for these goggles where you really just don't need to make that investment? And until next time, remember, don't record videos that you have to get in one take.